Quite a nice title screen. Let's see what happens when we begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Nice. Stanley Parable, now with more
All of his
balloons.
co-workers were gone.
Oh, look, the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Where are the collectibles? I want more collectibles.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Should we obey him? Let's obey him this time.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Fuck, no collectibles.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
So what's the code? 2548? Was it
Stanley
that?
may have broken down into an emotional
Something. I'm sure it was
dumpster
those
fire,
4
if not for the
digits, but I'm not
soothing
sure
presence
about the
of bucket.
order.
It would be with him always.
No.
The bucket would. And
Maybe
he knew.
2845.
The two of them were inseparable. At this point, but Stanley
Nice,
guessed the correct code by
nice.
sheer luck.
Got it on the second
Was
try.
it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
The bucket, it
Yes.
must be.
This is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring
Thank
that in
God
this
for
darkest
the
moment
bucket.
of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through
Mind
the large
control
door that
facility.
read,
Now we're
"Mind
gonna try
control
escaping."
Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Really? Or you're acting kinda
The
sus,
door behind
Mr.
them was not
Narrator.
shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every
I'm not
opportunity
sure
to turn around
whether to
and
believe
get back
you
on
right
track.
now.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for
I
each of them.
mean, isn't that life? Is this the infinity hole? I hope so. No, it's not infinity hole. That's it, did I literally just die? Oh no, I'm still falling. It was the infinity hole all along, I think. Oh shit, am I gonna be...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket
Am I
inched
gonna
closer to
be
their deadline,
compressed
Stanley
into a
reflected
crisp?
on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
True, quite meaningless.
It puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
Not much,
This
is
is
it?
what Stanley thought to himself. And he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
I mean, at
Farewell,
least
Stanley.
I got some muscle gains. Oh shit.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator,
Oh, new
as
narrator.
Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end
Oh.
as it was crushed violently to death.
So the bucket's life is more important than my life. Wait, it was not crushed to that. The bucket is still alive.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold. Can
I
you
get
see
a new
how
bucket? Oh, there
arrogant
it is.
was for Stanley to take a bucket like this
Shit,
and to
so
claim
many
it for his
buckets.
own. Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the
Can I get
bucket
another
is
bucket?
far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Is it though? That's a bit insulting. What happened to this bucket? Inferno bucket. There was actually a war over a bucket. It's not even a joke. Kind of. I know I saw a video from Oversimplified, which is a channel I very, very highly recommend. Wow, the bucket has had fans for a very long time. Huh? Cave drawing.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. I hope it's not literally hanging itself. Oh, infinite hole? Oh no, I can't fall. Can I claim a new bucket? Yes, I can. What happened to the narrator, by the way?
Something we can
The
do
original
together, you and
narrator.
I, that will right this terrible wrong.
I hate how they're replacing all my heroes with female heroes. First it was the Hulk, now it's the Stanley Parable narrator.
We can save
Oh
the
shit,
world's
we're
buckets
back
from
here.
their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Oh no, the bucket actually got crashed to death. Alongside me, of course. R.I.P. bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it be? Oh shit, it's different
Stanley
now.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
It's literally
the memo.
mirrored. It was a right turn and now it's a left turn. Do I grab the bucket again? Yes,
Stanley
I will.
lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. No, never mind.
No,
The bucket
never
was
mind.
wrong. Stanley took the door on his left.
Now, as far as I know, if I take this door, if I remember from the original game, it will just take me to the left corridor. So there's nothing new, no new content there.
No,
said the bucket.
don't
The
go to
bucket
the
has
meeting
its
room.
own
Go somewhere else.
voice.
The cargo lift, yes. Go there.
The
Go
bucket
to the
sounds
cargo
quite
lift.
British.
Good.
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious.
That is true.
He was
I've
firmly
never heard a
convinced that
bucket
the
talking
had
myself.
spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I do whatever you say, bucket.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Dark
Stanley
room?
once again
I
obeyed
don't see a
blindly.
dark room, I see a lit room. Oh, this is the dark room. I guess. Shit, I'm scared, bucket.
Now
Who's
pick
this?
up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone.
I hope
Take
it's
us
not the
back home,
IRS. If
where
it's
we
the
can go
IRS, I
about
will
life
just hang up,
together.
okay?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, so the bucket doesn't actually speak? I was lied to? Oh, there's a new bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press Y to take me to work with you. I want to go on a date with you, not like to a boring day at work.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant
Where's
to
my
provide
bucket?
the comforting glow of
I
companionship.
don't see bucket on my hand.
It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Oh, there it is. Press Y to take me back home with you. Yeah, let's go back home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you
Where's
be
the bucket?
concerned as
Not
well?
on the couch
To
anymore.
see him delusional like this, obsessing
Oh,
over
there
an
it is.
inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Now we're back to work.
Anyway, Stanley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Listen
you.
to me. It's just a bucket.
It's
It
not
can't
just
think,
a bucket
it
to
can't
me,
talk.
okay?
All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
Not just a
That's
liquid,
it.
it could
It
transfer
doesn't do
sand, for
anything
example.
else.
Don't listen to the loud man. What, you mean Jacksepticeye? Press down for us to go back home. Oh,
You see,
now it's
he's not
nice.
listening.
Now it's
He's
like we
still
can
taking
have a
orders
date
from the
night at
bucket.
home.
You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal.
Press Y to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Damn, that's a bit controlling, eh? I feel like this is gonna be a bit of a controlling, toxic relationship.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Bucket? Oh, there it is. I thought I lost you, Bucket. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press Y to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection...
Why are the
it doesn't
lights
quite look like
going
your average
dimmer
hardware
and
store
dimmer?
bucket.
Is it just to save on electricity? I
I'm trying
mean,
to say, sturdier, more
is this a
capable
good
of
idea
transporting
to
liquid. Like it would be
conserve
better at
fuel
moving
and
an
stuff,
amount of
but
water
you know.
from one room to another.
Press down to relive the same day with me over and over. That is a bit sus, not gonna lie. Oh shit, that actually scared me, that shadow.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a
I
bucket.
get scared kind of easily.
Why do I
though.
feel some need to point
In
out the
video
ways in which
games
it's
at least.
so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press up to go home to work to home to work to home. Can we sometimes?
No.
Fuck, this looks
having
like some
feelings.
satanic ritual or something.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps.
Or I guess it could
if
be
I
just
had
romantic
this would be
candles.
less confusing.
Maybe me
Yes.
and the bucket
The
are
bucket
gonna have a
will tell
good
me
time
what to
now.
do in this troublesome situation.
Ooh, you're looking quite nice there on the bed.
Stanley, give me the
But
bucket.
why is there
give
a
it to
pan
me.
on
Give
the
me
floor?
the bucket, Stanley. I
No,
need
the
it.
bucket
give
is
it
mine.
To me now. Give it, or I'll.
Close your eyes. Ooh, that feels good. Go back to work, Stanley. That's it. Bucket, where are you? I miss you, Bucket. I
Stanley
already
thought
miss
to
you.
himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that
There
possible?
you are.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt
Yeah,
away.
no more
as
confusion
Stanley
anymore.
embraced the bucket. Entered
Have
the
we
doors
explored
left.
all doors? I don't think so. I definitely remember more endings in the first game, so let's see.
Coming to
So
the
if I go
staircase,
down, I
Stanley
think
and
there's
the
only
bucket
one
walked
ending
upstairs
there.
to the boss's office.
So far I didn't find a single collectible, huh? Maybe there's no
Stepping into his
collectibles?
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
2845,
anything like
right?
Crushed, but Stanley
Yes.
guessed the correct code. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the
So if
large
I go
door
to
and
the
where?
escape, there's
Mind
nothing much,
control
so I guess
facility.
let's go back in the mind control facility.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Are there any
What
other
horrible
buckets
secret
that
did
we
this
can
place
see
hold?
the lives
Stanley
of
and the
on
bucket
these
both wondered
screens?
to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley
Oh,
cradled it
don't
gently,
cry, Mr.
reassuring it
Bucket.
that everything
Or
would be
Mrs.
fine.
Bucket, actually, I don't know their gender.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to
possibly.
do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends.
Okay, let's
Stanley
actually
and the
turn
bucket
it on
up
this time,
against the
because
world.
we don't give a
They
fuck.
hide, but at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Oh, the
Stanley
bucket did it?
gasped
Yeah, it wasn't
in
me.
horror.
It was the
Had
bucket.
this been the bucket's plan all along?
Fuck,
To
the
take
bucket is
over
a
the
bad
machine
guy.
and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw
So
the
the
bucket away
bucket
in
is a
disgust,
traitor.
when suddenly an image appeared.
Or should I
on
say, the
enormous
bucket
screen.
was the imposter.
Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Silly birds. I mean, why are they silly? Don't insult them like that. Let's press this button. Oh, flamingos. Actually, are they flamingos? Yeah, I think so.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds
cute
after
bird.
another, and then it dawned on him.
If there was my
This
cat
wasn't
here,
a
she'd
mind
be
control
hitting the
facility
screen,
at all.
because whenever she sees
It was a
birds on the
facility
TV,
for
she goes
monitoring
crazy.
and surveilling silly
Ooh,
birds
penguins.
all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards
Cute
his
birds.
incredible
Birds are
self.
pretty cute. Gotta give
Stanley
it to
and the
them.
bucket never
Okay,
found
this
peace
one is a bit
because they
less
spent the rest
cute,
of their lives here
but
in this
still
place,
pretty
living
cute.
through live streams.
Oh
of the
shit, it's
silliest
Dolan
birds
Dark. Skip,
imaginable.
skip.
Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Yeah,
And
not,
Stanley.
not very cute. That beak especially, I think, could do with a bit of a shorter beak, but other than that, okay, this bird is much cuter. Oh, that's it. Just the bird slideshow. Oh, it's different now, okay.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms.
Let's try taking this
So
door
the
now.
two of them
Oh
turned
yeah,
towards
there's a
the
different
maintenance section
thing
and
here.
walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Let's see where this elevator takes me.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Yeah, I remember this one.
You
We
see,
care
your
about you,
friends and I
Stanley.
are concerned
What
for you,
about the
Stanley.
bucket? Do you
We've
care
come
about the
together
bucket?
here because we
These
care
are
about
my
you very
friends.
much.
A
It's
baby
this
and a
bucket you're
mannequin.
carrying around
And a
everywhere.
computer.
The bucket
I mean
isn't
computer,
even from the
okay,
original Stanley
I got
Parable.
that.
It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the
Oh
fans
shit,
want.
there's
Let's
someone
do
driving
it.
the truck.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Nice silly music. I like silly music.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original
Whoever had the
dialogue?
job of making this line.
Drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now
No,
as it was
I'm
back
not.
then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them
I'm
more
addicted to
content
RuneScape,
exactly like
okay?
this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No,
That's why I'm very
What
proud
did
to
the
introduce a
bucket
brand
do
new
to you?
character. This is
The Bucket Destroyer. No, the bucket hasn't
I
done
think it'll
anything
make a
wrong.
wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Needs a pyrosonical video.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then
No,
pop it into the machine.
I will
when you're
not
ready.
destroy the bucket.
Now
I
listen
will
to me.
destroy
It's
the
crucial
Bucket
that you give it the
Destroyer,
bucket.
if I
don't
can.
know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon
Yeah,
of beloved
that's true,
Stanley
huh?
Parable characters?
Not
Well, you
very
see,
good
if
character
you were to
design.
really explore the bucket destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of bucket destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to
I don't
hurry
care.
and
It's
feed
not
it.
my
We
problem,
can't get
no.
back to the classic Stanley Parable gag.
I am
Just
not
like the adventure
responsible
line or the
for the bucket
until
destroyer's
you
feeling.
crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the
I
fans
don't
what they
give a
want.
shit
Hurry
about the
and
fans. Oh, there it goes. Rest in peace, bucket destroyer. You lived.
Bucket destroyer.
Well, did
My
you live a
prized
nice life?
creation.
It didn't.
You had
Doesn't
so
sound like a
much
nice
potential.
life, to be
We
fair.
were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Were you though? Oh, there's my cat. Finally, you missed the bird.
Was where he'd coming to a staircase.
Yeah, let's go
Stanley
down.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
Am I crazy,
The
bucket?
bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
Not even you are gonna
Strange,
talk to me
Stanley
now.
thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no
Shit,
good
where
would
did the
come from
bucket
this.
go?
Who knows what sorts
Where's
of
my
bizarre
bucket?
hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
Where did the
He
bucket
felt
go?
himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket,
I'm
I've gone
floating
truly
again.
mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far
I
off in the
must
distance
find
now,
the
he heard
bucket.
calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
Where are you, bucket?
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one
Oh
bucket
shit,
after the
so many
next.
buckets.
None of them
Can I
were
pick them
his.
up?
None
No.
of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Where?
The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
So I
Stanley
am the
doubled
bucket.
over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh
But on this
shit, the
particular
bucket
day,
betrayed
her
before
walk was
Mariella.
interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself.
So just
and then
because
collapsed
I
down on
die,
the sidewalk. Right
you
away,
just move
she
on
knew
to
what
another
the problem
person,
was.
just like that.
This man
No
had
mourning, no
bucket.
grieving
Of
face.
course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his
Well,
actions and how everything is predetermined and
I
free will is an
respected you,
illusion,
Bucket.
and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket.
I
with
did
him.
take my bucket with
Perhaps he
me,
didn't
but
even
then it
realize
disappeared
He'd
on
forgotten
me.
his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she
Just
backtracked all
wait.
the way to work.
Till the bucket betrays you too. what I want to check for the last thing is to actually beat the game, to get the good ending with the bucket, because I think getting the good ending with the bucket can be quite nice.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the control.
Okay, let's turn it off this time.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door.
What will we do,
To
bucket?
roller skate. Stanley
Roller
wanted to sneeze
skate?
in every
How are
country.
you exactly
Both of
gonna
them
do
wanted
that
to
without
begin watching
feet,
a
though?
movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the
No,
end.
I don't really
True, it
like
was
the
a simple
idea of
life
that.
they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh shit, the
What?
gate got
Wait,
stuck?
what was happening? Why had the door stopped?
We're gonna live such a
Was
nice
Stanley and
life
the bucket
together,
not
me
about
and
to
the
be
bucket.
freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Oh.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket.
Everyone
Needed
wants
the
a bucket,
soothing warmth of
but
the
no
bucket.
one wants you more than I do. Can't you see that?
Part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building
But
has
if I
anything to say
leave the
about
bucket
it.
here, can I
Stanley
then leave?
realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
At least I have the
To
bucket.
be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have
Is
my
there
bucket
Wi-Fi
with me,
though?
right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh, so that's it. That's the ending. So this is the real canon ending. Okay, I dig it. Okay, we're gonna stop here now. I think we've explored almost everything. I'm sure there are other hidden things though, but overall, nice game. I will go leave a positive Steam review.